I like the orange. Good to see that again. Yeah. Welcome back, everybody, to Plymouth Ice Center. We're in Rink C today, and we have round 2 action in the District 3 season-ending tournament. This will be a round 2 game with OMGHA White versus Mound Westonka. These two teams met twice this year during the district season. It was our second game of the year back, I want to say in November, that we tied them 4-4. And then on February 4th, OMGHA won 3-2 at the True Stone rink. Mound Westonka is the number 1 seed in the district. They finished the season with 33 points on the season. They went 9-4-1 in district play. OMGHA went 7-6-1 in district play, so a 2-game difference. In district games, Mound Westonka scored 48 goals versus 46 allowed. OMGHA scored 39 goals versus 49 allowed. But all the records go out the window in the tournament. It's a 1-game season. The winner tonight will go on to play in the championship game on Wednesday night. The losing team will move over to the consolation bracket and play tomorrow night. As we noted last night, OMGHA has won 9 of the last 10 District 3 Squirt A championships. This year is a little different in that we have 1 participant in the bracket. Previous years we've had 2. So Squirt A White will be our 1 participant with a chance to bring home a District 3 championship trophy. I did watch OMGHA Crimson play last night against Wyzetta. Blue looked like they had a tough game yesterday, losing 4-2. You know, they have 2 more games in that series. But for tonight, the boys are fired up. They're in the corner yelling. We are ready to play hockey. Omega will start with the line of Royston, Purdue, and Bloomquist, along with Tapney and Gardner at the points. The energy in the building is loud. Let's play hockey. Puck is on the ice. Initial draw won by the Mound Westonka. And they carry in. 2-on-1 opportunity that gets interrupted by Omega. Now Purdue carries it out. Carries it in the offensive zone. He shoots. Hits the post. Mound Westonka going the other way. Dumping it in. Tapney there. Knocks the skater to the ice, and that's going to be a penalty. And 32 seconds into the game, the Whitehawks will go on the game's first power play. 60 seconds of penalty time to kill for Bloomquist Purdue. Lined. Ref's going back over to the clock operator to get the penalty correct. They had the number 1 on for 1 minute, but I believe that would have resulted in a 1 second penalty, which would have been good for Omega. There we go. Now they have a 60-second penalty on the board. Opats is our 4th penalty killer. Purdue, right off the draw, goes the other way. Purdue, knocked off the puck. Bloomquist takes it. Bloomquist with a shot and a rebound. It sits loose. Purdue takes the Whitehawks skater to the ice, knocks him into the boards. No call. There's some people in the building that are not happy about that no call. Whitehawks send it around to the near boards, and they send it out. Now a breakaway. Saved by Noble! He got the right pad on it. And we have another penalty. Charlie was tied up with one of the Whitehawks skaters, and they're taking him to the box for a hook. So it will be 14 seconds of 3-on-5 hockey for Omega. Klosner goes to the dot to take the face off. Whitehawks win it quickly. Get it to the back door. A shot goes off the skates of Opats. Klosner now takes it away. Whitehawks with a shot. Pad save, Noble! Now it comes around to the near boards. And a shot blocked by Klosner. First penalty has been released. Tapney back on the ice. 35 seconds to go on the line penalty. And now a loose puck. Klosner banks it off the boards. And that will be icing. And come back down. An initial wave of pressure from the Whitehawks on the penalties. 24 seconds more to kill to get back to full strength. Durkeisen comes out to take the draw. Tapney takes it and banks it out. And that'll be icing again. That kills 6 seconds of the 24, so we do that 3 more times. We'll kill the penalty. Probably not our preferred strategy. Officials getting the boys in position. Tapney banks it off the boards. This one does clear into neutral ice. Gets in pursuit. Now the Whitehawks come into the zone with speed. Tapney sends it down to the corner and now goes back below the boards. Below the goal, I should say. The Whitehawks now coming around. They've got a lot of speed. Tapney clears it out. Back to neutral ice. Penalty has expired. Omegha's back to full strength with 9:20 to go in the first. Gardner trying to clear the zone. Unable to. There's a high shot that goes over the goal. Might have deflected off the glove of Noble. Now Omegha unable to clear. It goes back in, and Tapney blocks that one. The puck comes through to the near boards. Whitehawks applying all of the pressure in this first period, controlling the puck and playing with a lot of speed. Glosner needs to get down there. Whitehawks send it up to the blue line. Gardner takes it away. He's looking for somewhere to send the puck. He goes under the skates of Getz. Icing waved off. Now Titus comes in, takes it, backhands it. Line. Attempted a low shot that didn't get through. Titus sends it back up to Line. Line with a shot, and that was saved off the pad of the goaltender. Whitehawks able to clear it. Bosman takes it at neutral ice, sends it over off the stick of Klein. Too many men. That's going to be a penalty on the Whitehawks. They had the majority of their skaters on the ice at once. And now they're deciding who will serve the penalty. That will bring up an Omegha power play. 60 seconds of the man advantage as number 15 for the Whitehawks to go to the box. There were two in the box, but then they realized they only needed one. And Omegha has their first power play unit on. Line sends it off the stick of Purdue. It goes around. Tapney holds, chips it back in. Roysum and Purdue trying to dig it out. Now Tapney joins. Purdue pulled it out of the pile. He sent the Whitehawks skater into the boards. I thought that would be a penalty. He got lucky there. Now Line with a shot off the stick of Purdue and goes to the corner. Bloomquist over to Purdue. He sends it around to Tapney. Tapney didn't get all of that one. He goes down low. Bloomquist there. Fighting for it. Whitehawks send it around. 7 seconds left. 5 seconds left on the penalty. Omegha gets it deep again. Roysman and Purdue there. Penalty is expired. Mound Westonka back at full strength. They take it out. Going the other way with speed. And a save by Noble! He keeps it out! Let's go! Oliver Noble had his best game of the season yesterday. He was engaged, he was competitive, and he's brought that same spirit back tonight. .6:34 to go in period number one. Omegha changes. They have Glosner, Durkheising, and Getz on the ice. That's dumped in, deflected, no icing. Opat's at the point. He tries to shoot, doesn't get a lot on it. Whitehawks with it was almost a good pass. It was out of his reach. Opatz takes it away. Now they come out with it. Oh, and what a play by Opats! And now he sends him to the ice, and he's going to the box. Eli made a great defensive play, but then he took it a step too far. And the Whitehawks will go back to the power play. That's a cross check. 1 minute. Definitely a lot of adrenaline going through the boys tonight. Titus and Applewick, along with Line. There's a shot and a goal. Mound Westonka strikes first on the power play goal. That was 3 seconds into the penalty time with a shot from the point that beat Noble High. Omega won that draw. The Whitehawks are able to get it back and gain the Omega zone. Tapney going around behind his own net, still battling for it. And Royston came out with it and shipped it out through neutral ice down into the Whitehawks zone. Royston picks it up there. Tried to pass it, but it was intercepted. Whitehawks going the other way. And they try to center. It goes into the skates of Tapney. He takes it away. He sends it up and out into neutral ice right to the opposing skater. They try to dump it in. Purdue stopped that. And the Whitehawks attempt to dump it in. That was blocked by Bosman. Now they drive and backhand, and that goes through the crease. Bosman takes it down low. He's trying to get it to Purdue. Now he goes back the other way, banks it off of Royston in the direction of Bloomquist. Oh, and now the puck is lost. Bloomquist grabs it. He shoots it. He hit the post. Bloomquist hit the post. On a shot that was intended to allow his line mates to change. And Mound Westonka ices the puck. We will go back in for an offensive zone draw with 4:12 to go in the first period. Durkheisen, Getz, and Klausner on the ice, along with Opats and Gardner. You can feel the energy in the building tonight. Now it gets banked all the way down, and Mound Westonka ices the puck again. We'll go back down for another O-zone draw. Omega wins the draw. Opats had it for a moment. Now it's tied up in the middle. Getz dumps it in deep. Mound Westonka exits quickly. Out to neutral ice. Opats into his own end. Backhands it ahead. Klausner carries it into the Omega offensive zone. Now Getz tries to shoot. It goes wide to the right. Now it goes back to the point. Opats with a shot. That's fluttering in. That's sitting loose. It's still loose. No whistle. And score! Klausner with the goal. Evens it up at 1 apiece. That was Opats with the shot and the assist. Klausner with the goal. He was getting jammed at. I think the Whitehawks were looking for a whistle that they never got, and it is tied 1 apiece. Now that pass goes through just outside the crease and over to the wall. Puck goes up to the point. They lose it. Klein coming through. He's getting harassed and shoots, and it goes wide to the right. Now the Whitehawks going the other way. Lined with a nice defensive play. Creates a loose puck that Bosman takes behind his own net. He sends it, but that was deflected. Now Mato's talking to the circle. They get a shot up. The net was open. They couldn't get everything on it. Now it goes back to the point. A hard low shot that gets deflected. It's sitting loose. No goal is the call. I think they're saying maybe the net came off. Mound Westonka is convinced that they scored, but the net was loose.
Net is loose.
The net was... And the Whitehawks parents are letting the officials have it, but that net did need to be reset. Lucky break for Omega with 2:09 to go in the first. Now we're taking a moment as the officials are having a chat with the Mound Westonka bench. That puck was definitely in the net, but they ruled that the cage had come loose before it went in. Great break for Omega. Now off the draw, Bosman in his own end, making a move, trying to get it out, gets it to Bloomquist. Bloomquist chips it ahead. Purdue picks it up there. Purdue enters the zone with speed. He tries to get it on net, goes down low. Whitehawks are able to escape the zone. Line chips it into the official. Bloomquist gets it deep. Now Purdue needs to get going on the forecheck. Bloomquist is there as well. Whitehawks going the other way. Now it comes out to Tapney. Tapney dumps it in. I thought that was deflected for sure, but I think they're going to call it icing. .112 to go in the first. Omega completes the change. Durkheisen-Klausner and gets on the ice along with Gardner and Tapney. Durkheisen wins it to Klausner. Klausner skating through neutral ice. He banks it in deep. He's going in on the forecheck. Now a centering opportunity from Durkheisen that was out of the reach of Getz. Now Gardner, oh no, he threw it right to the Whitehawks. Omega's able to get out of danger in that situation, and now it goes back. The Whitehawks try to regroup. Now Tapney seemed to be trying to get it to Klausner. Now Klausner grabs it. Klausner has it taken away. The Whitehawks push it ahead. They get through neutral ice. They gain the Omega zone. Centering pass intercepted by Gardner. Gardner sends it over Klausner. Klausner ices the puck with 6.8 seconds to go in the first. We will go back down for a D-zone draw. Titus taking the draw for Omega. Opats send it up to a Mound Westonka skater. Now Applewick gets it out of the zone, and that will do it for period number 1. And in a very fast-paced and entertaining first period, each team strikes once. Omega 1, Mound Westonka 1, and in fitting fashion, shots are even at 5 apiece. It was...
I'm guessing just by the way it's over.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was Jason Klausner that notched the first goal for Omega on a rebound scrum in front of the net that was originally created by a shot by Opats from the point. Omega got a little bit lucky in that there was a second Whitehawks goal that was negated by a loose net. See if the boys can calm the nerves a little bit. They were definitely playing with a lot of adrenaline, a lot of energy. Took a couple of uncharacteristic penalties in the first period. See if we can settle down and play our game. Boys rallying around Oliver Noble, the goaltender, to fire him up. Officials ensure the goaltenders are good, and it is time to get period number 2 started. Omega wins the draw. Initially, Applewick had it. Now Klein takes it. Has his pocket picked from behind. Charlie Line had it for a moment. Now Klein gets knocked to the ice, and a hand goes up. That's a body check call on Mound Westonka, and Omega will go to the power play. Royce and Bloomquist and Purdue on the ice along with Line and Tapany. Goes right to Tapany off the draw. He's not able to hold the zone. Sends it over to Line. Lined up to Purdue. Purdue tries to chip it in. Got a little too much on that one. Now Tapany and Line collide. Purdue takes it. He pushes it over to Bloomquist. Bloomquist gains the zone. And that was a really close offside call. I don't know about that. But they rule that Purdue is in ahead of Bloomquist. 40 seconds remaining on the power play. We have a neutral ice draw. And a rare face-off loss for Micah Roysum. But Line's able to get it to Roysum. Roysum's able to gain the zone. Purdue gets knocked down. Now goes the Line. Line with a shot and a pad save that goes over to the near boards. Tapany pitches down and holds the zone, sends it deep. Now Purdue knocks down a loose puck, and Line with a hammered slap shot that goes wide to the left. And looks like the officials are calling a penalty. Or I don't know what they're calling. They're taking it out to neutral ice. Omega changes defenseman, 10:57 to go in the second. 13 seconds remaining on the power play. Now it comes out to neutral ice. Omega will have to regroup and tag up. Opats gains the zone, makes the move towards center, but it gets deflected out to the wall. Now Opats sends it down deep. Purdue chases it. Oh, he got it to Roysum, who couldn't get anything on that shot attempt. Now Opats with a shot. It's loose. Purdue scores! Blake Purdue with the rebound, and he got it to the backhand. Gives Omega a 2-1 lead. with 10:26 to go in period number 2. Huh? Yeah, Eli. And the draw goes to Opats. Opats right back into the zone. He shoots. And a high shot is swallowed up by the goaltender. Now Opats with a shot from the point. That's sitting loose. Omega not able to get a hold of it. Now they had a skater that was cheating deep. Opats runs him down. They're pushing back and forth on the boards. Got to be careful not to get a penalty. Getz collided with a skater, went sprawling. Klausner now carries it into the zone, goes wide, tries to get it deep. Now it comes up to the point. Gardner couldn't get much on it. Now it goes over to the far wall to Getz. Getz trying to push it ahead. Getz again trying to chip it up the boards. Bosman holds briefly, but now Westonka going the other way with numbers. And they get it, and held by Noble. He got the pad on it. And he has continued his stellar play. A number of key saves already tonight to go with all of them. A lot of them last night. 9:18 to go in period number 2. Omega brings out Titus Applewick and Klein. Tapany now sends it out to neutral ice. Now it goes deep into the Omega zone. Tapany's battling for it in the corner. He comes out with it and sends it around to Klein. Klein is able to chip it out. He has Applewick up ahead. He carries it in himself, ruled onside. There's a high shot that goes wide. And over to the near boards where Titus is the only Omega skater battling for it. Westonka comes out with it. And there's a sharp pass by Westonka, creating a situation with numbers. And it's gloved by Noble. And the two Whitehawks skaters together slide into the far boards. Good recovery by Omega, getting back on the back check. And Omega will change, bringing out Royce and Bloomquist and Purdue. Opats and Lyand are at defense right now. Opats sends it up in the direction of Purdue. It deflected off of his stick. He's getting after it on the forecheck. Takes the puck away. Making moves. Sends it up and out of the reach of Opats. And that's going all the way down. And Omega will have to regroup. Number 9 on Mound Westonka has a lot of speed. He almost beat Eli to that puck. Roysum gets it out to neutral ice, but it goes to the Whitehawks. Gets picked up by Opats. He gets it to Bloomquist. Bloomquist dumps it down. Purdue going in deep for it. Sends it back up. And Whitehawks able to clear. Lined. To Roysum to Opats. Opats comes in. Loses it. Zone held. Purdue dumps it in. Will go off for a change. With 7:10 to go in the second. Klausner joins the ice. Joins the battle before Mound Westonka was able to get it out. And they will ice the puck, which will give them a chance to change. They were pinned in at the end of a long shift, and it looks like they only have 11 skaters. Icing the puck, probably a good move on their part there. 7 minutes to go in period number 2. Klausner taking the draw. He wins it forward, and they were running a slip play, but Durkheising didn't get the memo on that one. Klausner sent it where Durkheising normally would have been, and it went over to the far wall. Now Durkheising picks it up on the wall. He sends it down to Getz. Getz, fan on the pass. Now he gets it up back to Durkheising. Now he gets it up to Tapany at the point. Tapany with a low shot. Gets deflected by the Whitehawks, and it went just wide to the left of their net. Now they go the other way. Quick transition and a high, heavy shot that cleared the goal high. Missed the goal high. Now Klausner's able to knock it out to neutralize. He gets it to Getz. Getz gets stopped by the back check now to Durkheising. Low shot saved by the Whitehawk goaltender. Tapany holds. Tapany tried to center. Now he goes back up to the point to Durkheising. Durkheising gets sent into the boards, and the puck is iced. And will come back down for an offensive zone draw. Good pressure by Omega, and you have to wonder if a deeper bench will start to wear down the Whitehawks with only 11 skaters. They are not skating as fast as they were in the first period already. Now Titus taking the draw for Omega, flanked by Applewick. Oh! And Applewick scores off the draw! What a shot! What a goal by Keegan Applewick! 3-1 Omega! That is a huge goal. .541 to go in period number 2. And Omega has a 2-goal lead. Now Bosman gets it up to Titus. Titus lost it. Now it goes out to Line. Line lost it now. Numbers the other way for the Whitehawks. A shot and a save by Noble. And Klein goes into the boards. That is going to be a penalty. And that's going to send Omega to the power play. And another conference at the Whitehawks bench with the officials. They're explaining that you cannot board the opposition. And with 5:18 remaining in period number 2, Omega brings out the power play unit. Royce and Bloomquist and Purdue along with Tapany and Line. Royce wins the draw to Line. Line with a quick shot. It flutters high and goes wide to the right. Bloomquist centers. Not able to get it through. Royce now battling for it in the corner. He goes down. Purdue sends it towards the net. It banks off the side of the goal. Now Purdue in danger of a hooking call, but he was able to get the stick out. Whitehawks bench is yelling for the hook. And they clear the puck. Thought it would be icing. Officials wave it off. Now it goes up to Tapany. Tapany gets it to Purdue. Purdue chips it ahead towards Royston. But the Whitehawks take it away at the blue line. Go back the other direction. 1-on-3. And he gets taken to the ice, and the Whitehawks bench is going to lose it. Oh, and Omega ices the puck with 3 seconds remaining on the power play. We'll go back down for a D-zone draw with 4:20 remaining in the second period. Durkheising on to take the draw for Omega. It's 1 to Opats. Opats skating through. The penalty has expired. Whitehawks at full strength. There's a shot that goes wide to the right. Sends it through the crease. Oh my gosh, Glosner couldn't hit the empty cage. What an opportunity. Couldn't convert on that one. That would have been huge. Gardner now goes back in his own end. He tries to get it out. Whitehawks send it back up to the right point. They send it back down to the right wing. Omega takes it away. Sends it to Durkheising. Sorry about the camera. Durkheising gains the zone. Gets ridden off the puck. And he's going to the box. Durkheising will go to the box for a trip. And Omega will have 60 seconds of penalty time to kill. .3:30 remaining in period number 2. Our penalty killers are Roysum and Bloomquist, along with Bosman and Tapany. Roysum sends the draw over to where the Whitehawks are, and Bosman sends it around the boards. Bloomquist not able to get it out. Now it's in the skates of Bosman. Whitehawks come out with it. They are coming around. They center it. And it comes out. Bloomquist skating ahead. Gets stopped at the line, and they're going to say that was offsides. .35 seconds remain on the Omega penalty. 3:04 remaining in the period. Roysum wins it to Bloomquist. Bloomquist makes a move. He shoots. Oh, and it banked off of the goaltender and it sat loose for a moment. Now goes through the crease. Roysum sends it up to Tapany. Tapany with a shot. That gets deflected wide to the right. Now it comes all the way out to neutral ice. Tapany sends it in offsides. Would have loved to see him regroup with that and send it over to Bosman. Omega has all the momentum and the pressure in that moment. It'll be a center ice draw. 14 seconds remaining on the penalty. Purdue takes the place of Roysum. Tells Bloomquist to take the draw. Opats is on the ice as well. Now Purdue able to gain the zone. Bloomquist has it go down to the far wall. Whitehawks send it around. Penalties expired. Omega's at full strength. Titus takes the ice. And now a headman pass to Mound Westonka. They send it through the crease. Purdue clears it out to neutral ice. Titus is able to take it there and get it deep. Bloomquist will go off for a change. Applewood comes onto the ice. Nice job by Titus tying up the Mound Westonka skater and keeping the puck in the offensive zone. Klein now goes over, makes a move. Now gets tied up. Now they go right by line. They go the other way, 2-on-2. A shot and a save by Noble. Now Opats trying to carry it out of the zone. Applewick helps him out. Goes down along the near boards. Lined. Backhands it back into neutral ice. And it's offsides! Mound Westonka had 2 skaters in their offensive zone. Sent the puck in, and it took a extra beat or two for the officials to blow the whistle on that one. But they do get the call right, and with 1:22 to go in the second period, Omega brings out the Durkheising, Getz, and Klausner line. Puck goes down into the Whitehawk zone. They send it out. Tapany carries it in, onside. Getz going in on the forecheck. Whitehawks are able to exit. Going back the other way. They fan on their pass attempt. Come on! I don't like that call at all. They were trying to make a pass. They couldn't get anything on it. Tapani had his stick out, and that may be a case of the Mound Westonka skater being a little light on their skates. But tripping is the call. 51.9 seconds left in the period. 60 seconds of penalty time to kill. So that will take us through the second period. Goal notwithstanding. There's a blocked shot by Klausner. And now Lyon clears that out. Durkheising takes it, gets it towards Klausner. Klausner able to get it out of the zone. He's continuing to stay on it. Now Lyon takes it away. He's able to clear the zone. Durkheising fighting for it along the boards. Good stick by Lyon. Durkheising sends it into the Whitehawks zone. 15 seconds to go in the period. Gardner sends it off of a Whitehawks skater and into the zone briefly. Now it goes down to the other end. It's blown off sides with 4.9 seconds to go in period number 2 and 13 seconds remaining on the Tapani penalty. Whitehawks win the zone. They send his shot, saved by the pad of Noble. And at the end of period number 2, it is 3-1 Omega. They notched 2 goals in the second period to 0 for Mound Westonka. They outshot Mound Westonka 9-5, bringing the total shots to 14-10 in favor of Omega. And as we wondered earlier, will the Whitehawks run out of gas with their shorter bench? For those that may be joining later, not familiar, this is the semifinals of the District 3 playoffs. The winner of tonight's game will play in the championship game on Wednesday night against the winner of the other semifinal, which is Minneapolis versus Wayzata Gold. Omega split their games with Minneapolis this year and lost 3 games to Wayzata Gold. I know the boys would love to get a shot at them in the chip, but first we have to take care of business. 1 period to go. Here we go. Period number 3, ready to get underway. 9 more seconds of penalty time to kill. And Mound Westonka figuring out which defensive pairing. That puck was dropped a little early before they were set. And Roysum comes in off the draw with a shot, and that is saved. 1 second left on the penalty. And Tapani has to be asked to be let back into the penalty box. He stepped out a moment early, and the door shut behind him. Now Omega wins the draw, but loses the puck. Now going the other way, Purdue on the back check, and he sends a skater to the ice. We're going back on the penalty kill. Purdue is coming in hot on the back check, but knocked the Mound Westonka skater to the ice, and he will serve 60 seconds in the sin bin. There's a shot and a save by Noble. Roysum comes out with it. He has Bloomquist up ahead, sends it past him, goes into the offensive zone briefly, Now Opats regroups. Tries to get up to Bloomquist. Comes back to Opats. Opats is able to dump it in deep. Royston gets a stick on it briefly. Now the line sends it softly to the middle. Royston picks it up there. Carries it into the offensive zone. He gets pinned to the boards. Whitehawks go the other way. Coming through the neutral zone with speed. Gaining the Omega zone. Shot in the glove, saved by Noble. He's on top of it. Another big save. Let's go, Ollie. Man, he has been good the last 2 games. One more second left on the penalty. 10:41 to go in period number 3. Durkheising wins the draw for Omega to Bosman. Bosman chips it out. Replaces Purdue. And a shot and a save. Whitehawks win the draw. Carrying it through the circle. Centers. Tappaney backhands it towards the blue line. Gets able to get it out, and then it goes back in offside. Omega wins that draw. Bosman sends it out to Klausner. Klausner sends it into the offensive zone, gets it down deep behind the goal, Getz is there on the forecheck. Klausner battling for it along the boards. Now Durkheising's there. It comes up to Tappaney. Tappaney sends it down low, and it bounced over the stick of Durkheising. Now Klausner sends it back, and Getz tried to center for Durkheising, and that was blocked. Now Whitehawks go the other way. They take a shot, and Noble gloves it. .9:41 to go in period number 3. Omega wins the draw. Opats skates it out through neutral ice. He makes a move going around the goal. Tries to center it towards Klein, and the Whitehawks took it away. Took it away at full speed, but they lost the puck. Good stick by Gardner. Gardner battling for it, but he falls down. Now the pass goes out of the reach of the Whitehawks skater. Applewood tried to get it ahead. Now a shot goes off the glove of Opats. And another shot that's saved by Noble. Give him a block shot for that. That's definitely the hardest shot I've seen this season, blocked by a paw. Now the Whitehawks off the draw, make a move, but Omega's able to get it out. Micah lost it for a second, now sends it over past Bloomquist. Bosman picks it up, chips it ahead. Now it goes over to Purdue. Purdue gets in, but it goes to the wide to the left. He's now pinned to the boards. Royston joins him, gets it out, but it goes to center where the Whitehawks send a stretch pass that allows them to gain the Omega zone. They lose their footing. Bosman takes it away. Bosman sends it up behind Bloomquist. Whitehawks able to gain the zone, making a move. Bosman takes it away, gets it to Bloomquist. He chips it up, but not out. Now Line takes it away. Roysum ends up with the puck. Roysum sends it up to Bloomquist. Bloomquist has Purdue ahead. He finds him, but the puck bounces over his stick. Now it goes to Bloomquist. And it gets towards center, but the goaltender covers it. 7:44 to go in period number 3. Omega will change. Klosner, Durkheising, and Getz along with Tapney and Gardner. Klosner won it forward for a moment, and it comes out, and Tapney sends it right back in offside. Gardner off the draw, gets it in deep. Gavin Getz takes the puck, loses it over to the left. Durkheising going into the corner. Gardner, who scored a huge goal last night, gets it on net. It deflects down low. And now the Whitehawks come back the other way, but Tapney takes it away and sends it out to neutral ice. They will need to regroup. And they lose a handle on the puck. Klosner knocks it away. Now Durkheising is into the zone all alone. He has Getz. And go! Getz couldn't get a stick on it. Gardner attempted a shot that was blocked. Now Line, with a good pinch, takes it away and sends it in deep for Omega. Omega is able to change. Now Dalton Klein creates a loose puck that goes over the line. Line gets it to Titus. Titus loses it over to the right boards. Line had it for a moment, but it was taken away. Now Line going down to the corner. Knocks down a skater. There's some pushing and shoving. Titus gives it right to the Whitehawks. They shoot and they score. That's a tough one to give up. That was a bad turnover by Omega. Mound Westonka made us pay, and now with 6 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in period number 3, it is a 1-goal game, 3-2. Omega with the lead, and Purdue's offsides by half a step. Roysum wins it to Opats for a second. Whitehawks take it back. Gardner down in the corner. Purdue sends it up in the direction of Bloomquist. Weren't able to connect. Whitehawks dump it in deep. Noble deflects it to Gardner. Gardner up. Nice pass up to Purdue. Purdue carrying it in. He drags for a shot that was blocked. And he tries to center it. Couldn't get a hold of it. And now Durkheising took down the Mound Westonka skater. I think we're lucky not to get a call there against us. 5:10 to go in the third. Puck hops over the stick of Bosman. Klosner, fresh onto the ice, was after it. Now Mound Westonka sends it in deep into the Omega zone. Opats sends it around to Bloomquist. Bloomquist loses it. Whitehawks coming around. Opats falls down to the ice. And a save! Still loose. That's a huge cover and a huge whistle. And the Whitehawks skater slams his stick to the ice in frustration. Noble was able to use his right pad to keep it out. Now Tapney banks it off the boards to Klausner. Klausner chips it out. Down into the Mound Westonka zone. They connect on a pass. Get going through the neutral zone. They dump it in. Tapney wins the battle of the puck. They beat us to it and are able to keep it in the zone. Tapney moves it over to Klausner. Klausner sends it out to Durkheising. Durkheising skates it in. He has Getz with him. He sends it down off the side of the goal. Mound Westonka now with time to make a pass. Durkheising chips it out. Klausner gets it ahead to Getz. Gavin Getz is in. He makes a move. Oh, and a shot that deflects high and wide to the left. Royston comes in and holds the zone. He sends it to Getz. Getz makes a move. He tried to get to the backhand. Had an opportunity, but lost it. Now Purdue off of the goaltender. That almost banked in. Now Whitehawks going the other way. They shoot it and blocked by Opats. Royston sends it up. But it's held in by the right defenseman. Opats sends it out. And it goes down softly into the Mound Westonka zone. Skate! We need our forecheckers to forecheck on that one. Royston gets it into the zone. Go! 2.5 minutes to go in the game. Omega holding a 1-goal lead. Mound Westonka gains the Omega zone. Bloomquist gets it out. And you have to wonder, when do they pull their goaltender with 2 minutes to go in the game? It gets chipped out to neutral ice. They have to regroup. Bloomquist goes off for a change, making moves, and blocked by Tapney. That was big. Now it goes to Klausner. Klausner dumps it in. 1:45 to go, and Mound Westonka has to regroup in their own zone. Durkheising tying him up. They're able to get it out. Now off the skates of Klausner. Gardner loses it. And a shot deflected by Tapney, gloved by Noble, and Tapney sends it all the way down on the net. That is great. That would have been icing. Purdue tried to get a shot off, couldn't get anything on it as he went to the ice. And oh, we're gonna have a trip. Dang it. Micah Royston got his stick, caught in the skates. And with 1:09 to go, Mound Westonka is going to have a 60-second power play, and they're going to call timeout. One more reset of the situation. We're in the semifinals of the District 3 playoffs. The winner goes on to the championship game on Wednesday. The loser plays in the consolation bracket. There is 1 minute and 9 seconds remaining in period number 3. Omega is holding a 3-2 lead. They have not scored in the third period. Mound Westonka has won in the third period. Micah Roysum just went to the box for tripping, and so of the minute and 9 seconds remaining, we will have 60 seconds of penalty time to kill. Have to expect that the Whitehawks will pull their goaltender and play 6-on-4 hockey. And as a reminder, in scored hockey, you cannot ice the puck. So we can shoot at the empty net from our own zone, but we risk icing by doing so. And Omega brings out the second-year squad. And Whitehawks are overstaying their welcome on the timeout. A lot of chance to get this thing going. The cage is empty at the other end. We have 6-on-4 hockey with Roysum in the box. Purdue, Bloomquist, Line, and Tapany on the ice for Omega. It goes right to Purdue. Purdue tries to chip it out. Couldn't quite clear. He's going after it. He gets it out. Whitehawks need to regroup. Now it goes back to Tapany. Tapany sends it ahead, gets it out to neutral ice. Whitehawks need to tag up their offsides. .5 seconds to go, 38 seconds left on the penalty. Face-off win here would be huge. Let's go, Bloomy. Whitehawks win the draw. They carry it in. Making moves. Oh, and they get it to the back door, but it goes wide. Now center. Tapany sends it out. Purdue tries to send it down towards the empty net. It deflects off of a Whitehawks skater. I don't know why a hand is in the air. It deflected off!
He touched it!
It touched! Oh my God. It touched the hand of the Whitehawks skater and they called icing. Oh my God. The official's discussing it now, but it definitely went off the hand of the Whitehawks skater. Chris Durkheising is going to lose his mind. Along with Dave Klausner. The officials are going to stick to their horrible call, and we're going to have a D-zone draw. Now Bloomquist is able to clear. Bloomquist gets it into the zone. Whitehawks regroup. They send it out all the way down. That should be icing. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Yes. Oh my gosh, I thought Brennan was going to get it. I thought Brennan was going to get that before it crossed the goal line and negate the icing. The penalty is expired. Omega's back to 5-on-5 hockey in the offensive zone. Mound Westonka has to return their goaltender to the cage. 8.5 seconds to go. Come on, boys. Shot by Getz! And saved with 3.7 to go. .7 seconds away. Puck comes out, and that's it! Omega's going to the championship game! They win by a score of 3-2 over the number 1 seeded Mound Westonka Whitehawks. who are despondent in their own end. Two playoff games, 2 victories by a score of 3-2. Omega White moves on. Final shots on goal, 20-18 in favor of Omega. That was a tight game. That was a fast-paced game. That was a competitive game. And the good guys win. We will see you on Wednesday night for the championship game back at this very rink. Have a great rest of your Monday, everybody.